How's it going, guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to be going over the new gameplay from Star Wars Outlaws, but first off I'd like to say thanks to Ubisoft for this gift. They were kind enough to provide me with this footage to go over and bring yous this video. And if you do find yourself enjoying the video, press the like button, and if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. So, there was a lot of footage I was sent, and I have to say I was actually really impressed with what I saw. Now, I've never been the biggest Star Wars fan. I've seen the films and enjoyed them, but that's as far as it goes for me. But Star Wars Outlaws has me excited. So in this video, I'm going to share some of the footage that I was sent. So we start off with Kay meeting Waka, a mechanic who offers to fix her ship if she can go to Miragana City and speak with the Pike underboss Gorag.
How? You're an off-worlder, and this ship of yours isn't gonna fly anytime soon. But lucky for you, I'm a mechanic.
How many credits are we talking?
I mean, a few, mostly for parts. But good news, Tashara is a great place for someone with your skills. There's a Pike underboss named Gorag. Talk to him.
And he'll give me work. Got it.
On our way there, we do get a glimpse of Kay's adrenaline meter move, where she can shoot enemies in slow motion.
I know! What are we doing? I don't have anything! Just leave me alone!
You there? The comms are working?
Yeah, hey, these bandits are still after me.
Persistent.
Now, this isn't anything groundbreaking, but I think it fits in well with the game style. And not only having that system there makes it more cinematic, but it will make it easier dealing with multiple enemies as well. Now, when the cutscene with Gorag is over, we get to see the reputation system with the criminal networks. When Kay's reputation is poor, we are restricted in where we can go, and syndicate members will shoot on sight. And we are also restricted from going in the districts, but some syndicate members will give Kay a chance to prove herself and offer jobs to improve her reputation. In the next tab, we have Syndicate Rewards. Now, there are 3 tiers, Good, Excellent and Max. In the Good tab, we have a skin for our blaster, or coating as it's called in Outlaws. In Excellent, it looks like we have some materials, and in Max, we have some new gear. This will be the same for all criminal networks, but we'll have different items to obtain. We also get the names of the 2 other networks, Crimson Dawn and Hutt Cartel. I'm guessing that's going to be Jabba. Now, in terms of the gameplay, I was quite impressed with what I saw. Combat looks fluid with a lot of gun battles, and that is important in a game like this because you're going to be fighting quite a lot. And you have the usual crouching and sneaking around as well, especially if you're going to be in areas that you're not going to be welcome in, and there is some of that as well. And the areas that we did see Kay walking around were busy and well designed, and the atmosphere leans into that Star Wars vibe, and that is going to be great for you Star Wars fans. It's going to be good for the game because you don't want an unpopulated area that just looks bland. There's a lot of stuff going on, it's busy, and especially with a game like Star Wars, which is much loved and it's got a mega hardcore fan base, the worlds do matter and you need to get it right, and it seems that they have. Now, the gameplay is nothing groundbreaking as it's the usual move from one place to another to meet certain objectives, but it seems really smooth and it leans into the Star Wars universe, which I sense will make you avid Star Wars fans even more happy. The combat seems fun. Obviously, we can't say how it feels until we play it, but I have a good feeling it will be good. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, but like all games, until you actually sit down and physically play it, you just don't know, but I do have confidence that it is going to be as good as it looks. And as we can see here, we do get the opportunity to play criminal networks against each other.
The Pikes are on top here, and Crimson Dawn is making moves.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Here, some fuel injectors for that ship you don't have. These should help you get off Toshara.
So you know everything, huh?
Just the things that are important to us. You'll be hearing from me soon, so try to stay alive. Oh, and one last thing.
Yeah?
Bram's leg is healing nicely.
Thanks.
You're in our...
And decide who we want to rank up with, which for the player is great. Having the freedom to forge your own path in a game like this is always welcome. Also want to give a shout out to the cutscenes. They look good, very smooth, and the graphics are well done, and after they have finished, they transition straight back into the gameplay straight away, and that's important for an open world story driven game. The less load times, the better. Immersion is absolutely key here. We also get a quick look at the armor vendor, just a few upgrades, but I expect that to evolve as we go further in the game. And when you're in a district where your rep isn't great, you have to be careful, because if you're spotted, you'll have to fight or get kicked out, so the stealth part of case combat is really important, with Nix having his uses as well, like opening hatches, doors, and switching levers, plus attacking enemies when needed. On our ship we also have a workbench where we can modify our weapons and change how they look. With an ion that we picked up earlier allowing us to upgrade our weapon, and that is all I got to see, so I can't go into too much more detail than that. And in the second part of the footage we see our ship in space. Again, I can't speak to how it feels, but only how it looks, and I have to say it does look great. If you're a Star Wars fan, this is everything you'll want, but from a gameplay point of view, it's nothing new, but I do have to say that the ship combat does look impressive though. They nail that galactic feel and vibe, and once again, if you are a fan of the franchise, this will be welcoming to you. It does seem that space combat nails it better than some other games, with you having to shoot parts of other ships off to damage, disable, and then defeat them. Overall, I think that the space combat does look pretty decent, but obviously we're going to have to wait to see how it feels when we get it into our hands. But from what we can see here, it looks like they've got the feel and the look of Star Wars down to a T. We also get a look at a smuggler in the Crimson Dawn section. The vendor's stock is gear that will give you little perks, like this Agamar gunslinger belt, which restores health for each enemy defeated during Adrenaline Rush. And underneath that we have a piece of faction stock, which greatly increases adrenaline gain on hits with Kay's blaster. There is also some footage of a black market trader. Here we can buy materials, charms that will reduce our damage taken from explosions, intel that will tell us where pirates have hidden confiscated goods, where we can go and then retrieve them confiscated goods and no doubt have a good old fight or a gun battle, plus some new trousers which will increase accuracy when shooting from the hip or while on the run. One thing to note here though guys is our reputation with factions will dictate the price we pay for goods. A bad rep means a higher price and a better rep means a better price. When looking at the footage of the open world and exploration with Kay and Nix, the environments were spot on. There was a good mix. Outposts are populated and busy with a vast terrain to explore with camps we can loot. There is a good mix of wildlife as well, which all adds to having a good open world game that you can immerse yourself in, and that's going to be very important, especially for a Star Wars game that is open world. I'll keep mentioning the Star Wars vibe because Ubisoft open world games are very much the same. There will be stuff to upgrade, outposts to unlock, dumb enemies that can't spot you while you're crouching around in front of them, and all the other things you'd come to expect from a Ubisoft title. Which is why it's so important for Massive to get the feel and look of this game spot on. If you're coming at this from a purely gameplay point of view, it will not give you anything fresh. I mean, you'll get a new world to explore and gear to obtain with a different story, but nothing new in terms of mechanics. But in terms of being invested in the franchise, this looks like it will be a fan's dream to play and something you can really sink your teeth into and enjoy. And I don't feel Star Wars fans have probably had that for a while now. Being able to fully explore the vast lands in Star Wars Outlaws has me excited personally because they look really well designed and in depth with lots going on. I'm looking forward to riding around and pulling up to an outpost or a village and fighting or making allies. Massive are great developers and created one of my favourite worlds in a Division. Although it's a looter shooter, the world was so good, I actually fell in love with it. And no doubt they have passed that magic onto Star Wars Outlaws. So I'm going to finish up by saying the 1 hour footage I watched was extremely promising and Star Wars fans should feel excited for the release on the 30th of next month. It's always good to have an open mind though, because the footage was picked and supplied by Ubisoft. The footage was in 1080p, so it doesn't look as polished as it could have done, and the graphics are not spectacular. But you don't need that to have a great game. As long as it plays how it looks, gamers and fans will have fun playing this one. I am sure of that. especially if the filler content like side quests and roaming around keeps you busy. What you don't want is to have a great story, great cutscenes, but with mediocre little bits put in between. But I'm sure Massive are fully aware how to make a game, and hopefully they've been given the time and the support needed to make the game from start to finish and everything in between a solid experience for one, Star Wars fans, and two, gamers that might be dipping their toe into the franchise for the first time. But guys, that is the end of the video. If you have stuck around until now, thank you so much. If you have gotten anything out of this video, liked it in any way, please hit the like button because it helps me and the video out massively. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button as well for more Star Wars Outlaws content. And as always, take care and I'll see you in the next video.